Check this out, you guys. This is my concrete retaining wall that I finished, and I'm really excited about a finished project in here because there's so many things that are on their way in here. I might paint this later, and I'll probably put some little pots and stuff along these steps over here. And yeah, so anyway, isn't it beautiful? I'm very excited about it. Which means, here's the not as exciting part, which means that I can get started on this area, which is, it's going to take me a long time. But when I get done with that area, my intention is to have a nice wide pathway. And in that nice wide pathway, I'm going to put some arches, some cattle panel trellises, and that will be amazing. But I'm not going to set myself up for that quite yet. I'm just going to focus on one little section of this at a time because this is going to be a real ball buster to do this stuff. Anyway, I'm going to get some compost and take it up to my grow bags. Morning. We're in the garden. And I'm trying to talk louder. My voice gets a little hoarse when I'm dealing with allergy stuff. Pollen is like everywhere. When I come out in the morning, my car is just covered in it. So anyway, today is May 2nd, and I have been checking my 10-day forecast every day, and there's no cold weather in sight. There's no little snowflakes. There's no temperatures that are below, 40 degrees. So I think it's time to go for it. Time to go for it and just plant stuff. So I am going to amend my grow bags. I'm going to amend those this morning with compost that I made. I made dirt and it took me months, but it's really good stuff. So I have basically an endless supply of leaves, and I mix those with kitchen scraps and mostly with organic vegetable and fruit pulp that Zach brings home from work because Zach works in a juice bar. So all the material that goes into my compost pile is organic. And, I move it around once in a while. I don't really mess with it a lot. But it turns into dirt, basically. And it's really, really good stuff for your plants. So I'm going to amend those beds and put some tomatoes in. So I'm going to officially start some tomatoes today. There it is. Compost. And you can see that it's full of, it's all that broken down stuff. Hey, look, there's a sticker that was on a banana or something. But yeah, this is just, as far as plants go, this is the stuff right here. And the worms love it. And you want to have worms in your soil. Hey, I just wanted to talk about compost for a minute. Because I feel like I watched a lot of videos on composting. I think that some of those videos they're overcomplicating it. I mean, everyone does what they do their way. I'm not putting anyone down for anything, but I just want to kind of tell you what I did. Basically, compost is made up of brown materials, like you can use cardboard, you can use paper bags. You want to use things that don't have colored print on them. You just want plain cardboard. If you have plain paper bags, you can use those things. Packing material, sometimes they put the brown shreddy stuff in and all that stuff's fine. Some people use newspaper if it's just got black print on it. And you want to use kitchen scraps, or some people throw in grass clippings, like when they cut their grass and stuff. So you want the components of green and brown, and that's basically it. I usually use more brown stuff than I use green stuff because I don't want it to be too wet, because the green stuff that we use usually is in the form of pulp from juicing machines. So it's kind of wet. So to keep it drier, I use a lot of leaves. I just, we pile it up in these bins that we created, and there's 3 of them. They're just made from pallets, and there's no screws or anything involved. I think we actually just zip tied them together, which isn't a permanent solution, but I can address that later. But so you got the 3 different stages. The first one, we just start dumping it all in, and then the second one, when I'm going to turn it over, I just kind of flip it over into the second one. And then this third one here, I just put my finished material in. But, if you just kind of use some common sense, I think, as far as what you're putting in there, and I find, it seems like for me, that if I don't mess with it as much, that I do better with it. I don't really tend to it a ton, and I still end up with a really nice compost for my beds. Good luck. So I had a little disaster with my starts. I put all of my tomato seeds and stuff, mostly tomato seeds, into one of those cell trays where there's like 72 cells or something. And then they say to transplant those into like solo cups or a bigger container. So that's where I ran into trouble, because I transferred them and they weren't happy about it. So I ended up losing a lot of starts. In the future, I will definitely just start them in the container they're going to stay in until they go into the ground. So anyway, I had to kind of scrounge through the starts that I had, and I planted those the other day, because I was like, well, I think the sooner I get them into like the ground, and they'd been outside, so they seemed to be okay being outside. But I put them in the ground, and they've been in the ground for maybe 5 days, not even 5 days. We had 2 days of rain consistent, and they're like rejoicing. So here's some of the tomato plants that I put in, and I know that these are still small, but with those 2 days of rain, they really showed up. Like this guy, look at him. He's literally reaching up, stretching his little tomato arms. This guy too. These guys are ready to grow. There you go. I think these guys are going to be fine. I am not going to mess with them any further. I feel like the more I mess with stuff, the more of a problem I create. These guys grow. These guys can do it. These little pepper plants are looking good. They're tiny, but now they're getting all the sun that they need, and I'm not moving them around in and out of the house, worried about temperatures and stuff. So we are growing for it. So we're supposed to have a couple of chilly nights. And it's crazy because Sunday is Mother's Day, and they always say, wait till Mother's Day. And I was like, no, it'll be fine. It's not that chilly. There's one night that's like 43, but we've got 10 days of that. So I kind of feel like these plants have been outside and exposed long enough. It's not freezing, so I think they're gonna be okay. And you know what? We're just gonna roll with it because we're learning stuff, which are what some of these videos are about. But this next week, I think I'm gonna focus on getting these some more of these gabions together, because my bricks are all the way up there at the top, and I carry my bricks down here like 6 bricks at a time, so that's a lot of up and down. So I think I'm going to focus on that stuff because the weather's going to be nice, and then I'll just kind of show you guys, what I've completed and what I'm doing with that, and yeah, and what else I've planted. Anyway, I'll talk with you guys later.